Hey guys, how are we doing? So I'm not sure if anyone's going to actually show up to this, but I'm going to do the training anyway, and you'll be able to watch it back whenever it's convenient for you. I'll leave this running for a minute. And if you do come through, please just let me know whether you're watching back or watching live. If there's any questions at any point, I'll come through the week and check on them and make sure that I can ensure you get the full understanding about what's going on. All right, so basically what I want to do is I want to ensure that my mic's plugged in for a start. Let's plug this bad boy in there. There we go. So what we're going to talk about during this live here is the complete control of your time and your energy throughout a week's period, all right? And I'm going to go through the process right here that I follow and a lot of my clients follow. And I know that Phil's asked me to come into the productivity group here to do some teaching so that you can be a lot more effective with your time and your energy, okay? So I'm going to go through this 4-point process here. Bang, bang, bang. You can make notes. If you've got any questions along the way, just ask them and I will answer them for you. Okay, let me just turn the camera around. All right, so we break it down into 4 points, okay? And if the quicker the more that we do this, the more fluent we're becoming doing it and the better we understand ourselves. So really it is about the process of doing this as often as we possibly can, okay? And I'm going to try and just keep it as simple as possible. Now, this might seem kind of self-explanatory, and you might understand this, you might already know this, but the difference between knowing and thinking about it and doing can be the difference between having a successful running business versus a business that just completely is disrupting your personal life and we're not getting the balance. And for the large majority of entrepreneurs, one of the biggest problems that most people have is the imbalance of their life, okay, between personal and professional is like this battle going on, all right? So the first thing that we need to do is brain dump, okay? And now for some of you that are already completing the timetables and the accountability, you understand the 4 pillars that there are, okay? So there's health, personal development, okay, we've got relationships, and then we've got the business. Now the idea within the brain dump is that we can actually think about every single thing that we need to do. Okay, it's an opportunity for you to sit down for 15 to 20 minutes with a scrap of paper broken down into 4 and actually write down everything that you need to do. It's the time when you can do your 20 thing to-do list, all right? Everything you'd like to do in your health. So calories, mental well-being, meditation, physical fitness, emotional fitness, everything under that category. Personal development, doing Phil's course, doing other courses, doing your own personal development, doing your own, improving your own challenge. Okay, these are the areas that will come under there. So everything that needs to be done. In terms of your business, all the tasks and job roles and everything that you need to do. And then the same with your relationships, okay? If you've got family or professional relationships, meetings, etc., we just write them all there. And the idea of this is to unclutter our mind to be able to visually see everything that needs to be done. It kind of gets you off your chest. One of the reasons that we overthink everything is because we get overwhelmed with trying to remember everything that's going on. And by writing everything down on this scrap piece of paper, on this stage 1 of the brain dump, allows us to play with everything that we've got in front of us, okay? And it's simple as that. I'd probably spend 10, 15 minutes just extracting everything out of your mind. We're then going to go on to stage 2, and that's prioritizing those lists. Now you can do it in a number of ways. You can do it as a numbers model or a color sequence. So like number 1s are the most important jobs. So if you're an entrepreneur, the number 1 job is really doing the tasks and the jobs that bring in your revenue, your income. They are going to move the needle closer to wherever your vision is, whatever you're trying to achieve. Okay, number 3s are things that like really they do need doing, but they're not essential to the running of the business, okay? They're things that you could delegate, they're things that you could probably do in a couple of weeks, but you want to get them down anyway because though it could be a number 3 now, but in 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, it could be a number 1, okay? So they're just things that we need to do. I'll give you a good example is that on my number 3 this week is just updating my LinkedIn bio, okay? It's not essential, but it's just something that if I get time this week, I would do. or I could get somebody else to do. So we're going to prioritize our brain dump. And we can do it as a traffic light system as well. So red is the least important and green is the priority. We spend maybe another 5-10 minutes here. Again, this system, this routine, this flow gets a lot quicker when you know what matters. And I just want to give you a quick analogy. So think about the £10 an hour jobs and think about the £250 an hour jobs. What are your £250 an hour jobs? What are the things that are most important in this category? Okay, think about the things that are most important here. Relationships, time with partner, time with kids, getting the balance right. What are the most important things in your health to help you make sure that you show up, make sure that you're super focused, i.e. meditation, clear thinking. Okay, all of those things that help you become an efficient entrepreneur. And then all the things that you need to do in terms of your personal development, okay? What are the most important jobs? So it could be that going through Phil's mastery program is essential for you to be able to earn money because you need to know how to do that job, okay? You need to know how to do the challenge. If you then start going off and start to create PDFs and lead generations, when actually you've said that you want to focus on the 5-day challenge, it's conflicting. You're not following the sequence and the vision and the path that you said you were going to. It's completely conflicting and will end up sending you in a completely different direction. So it's got to be the thing that's going to move you forwards, personally, professionally. And that's where we hit our priority list. So we've done our brain dump, which is going to be a mess, loads of things on there. Then on the back of that paper or on a separate piece of paper, we have our priorities, okay? 1, 2, and 3s. We're then going to create our timetable, okay? So, the way that we create our timetable, I'm just going to do a couple of days, okay? So here's Monday, here's Tuesday, okay? So let's go for the AM here and PM here. If you think about when you went to college or university, you would end up conducting your day based on one sheet of paper that your college lecturer would give you. And on that piece of paper would be the times that you have to go to class, who you would have the class with, at what time, studying what subject. From that timetable, you would extract time to go and spend with your girlfriend or your boyfriend, go and work some shifts at Tesco's, do some study time, spend some time with the parents, go to the gym. You'd organise your life around this scrap piece of paper, which was your timetable, right? And you probably didn't realise it at the time, but it was probably the most important little sheet of paper that you had because it kept you in order, it kept you your time managed the whole time, and you were probably better organised as an 18-year-old than you are right now. And you probably don't even realise that, okay? But then we leave college and we leave uni and then we suddenly go into this complete black hole of a life where we just suddenly have no idea what we're doing with our time, and we become clusterfucks with our time and our personal management and what we're doing with our time. We have no tracking of how we manage the time and the energy. So we become unproductive. We fill up 10 or 15 cups half full and we never finish a job. We never become productive. We never have rules. We never have cut-offs. We never have sections or broken down columns of the day, as I call them. So we're just cuffing, if you want to be blunt and honest about it. You're just cuffing each day as it comes. Whereas when we take our priorities and we implement them on a weekly plan, it creates structure, it creates routine, it creates consistency, it creates control of your time and energy, and it creates clarity about what you are doing, okay? And the way that you fill up your timetable should be in the priority sense. So for me, to be a successful entrepreneur, you have to put your health first. You have to be mentally, emotionally, and physically well balanced to ensure that you are going to be the best version of yourself in your own business, to be that elite operator. And many times, all I ever hear is, you gotta hustle, you gotta hustle, you gotta hustle, you gotta do 14 to 18 hour days. That's unsustainable. You're not thinking clearly, you are overthinking, you are burnt out, you're not concise, and you end up making really bad decisions. So for me, the most important thing to put down on here, this timetable first, is your health. And the best time for me to do that is in the morning. The best time for most of the guys I work with who are entrepreneurs is the morning. And that's for a separate post, the morning routine. But when you're creating this, what you might do is have what's called the golden hour. Now, some of you may have seen some of my early posts on this, okay? So the golden hour is, in theory, getting up an hour earlier than you normally would to focus on you, purely on you, nothing to do with work, but to improve you. So having some form of gratitude, headspace, focus, activity, purpose. And it's all things that are preparing you for the day. So if you think about when you do exercise, you do a warm-up. This is, in theory, your warm-up period of the day to make sure that you are ready for clients, ready for problems, ready for the world, okay? And that is, for me, the most important thing. So we end up doing our morning routine here. Let's just say you do 5 till 6 in the morning, all right? And you focus purely on you. The next thing that I think is really important is focusing on the relationship side of things. Because if we have healthy relationships with the people that we value most, i.e. our children, our kids, our friends, our colleagues, our peers, our employees, then life tends to be much happier, right? A lot of conflict and stress and frustration comes from poor relationships, and it distracts us away from the focus of our business. If we're stressed in our relationships, we're not fully focused on the mission. Okay, the mission is with the business. Okay, so I've just done Tuesday in here. So what we end up doing here is going, okay, look, so let's have some family time between 7 and 8:30. Okay, same again here. Now I usually have like family time between 7 and 8. That's my thing. I come home at 7 for my morning routine and we have breakfast in bed. We just sit on the bed, we have an hour, giggling, chatting, playing with the kids, just having a laugh, talking about the day. Just gives us that quality time in the morning before suddenly throwing yourself into the business and throwing yourself into what has to be done, okay? That's where we then start planning our priorities of a business, okay? So if we're coming in here, we're gonna focus on our business. Now you might have heard me talking about the kill zone. So between 9 and 12:30, boom, 9 and 12:30, okay, we're planning out our kill zone. So in here are gonna be your number one tasks that are gonna move the business forwards. This is where your golden hour is. You've prepared yourself for this mentally, physically, and emotionally. You've had some family time, so you can do this guilt-free. Okay, we come into here, we do our 2 90-minute sessions. Okay, bang, and we get the number one priority of the day, the £250 an hour jobs done by here. Okay, the next part might end up being, we have lunch, and then we come in for a wrap up. Okay, so wrap up is any logistic works that we need to do for following up. Okay, so I call it wrap up. I won't check emails to this point. So this is where we check emails. Okay, follow up with staff or customers. Okay, and that will last between sort of 13:30 and let's say 1500. Okay, 13:30 to 1500, 3:30. So in the afternoon, that's what we're doing. If you do that here in the morning, this priority work won't get done. And now this is where it goes wrong for the majority of people, because in this morning at 9 o'clock, you're coming in, you check your emails. There'll be about between 5 and 12 different emails. Each one's going to cause you a problem. It's going to mean that you have to take action of some form. You're not going to be able to concentrate fully on your priorities. And then before you know it, it's going to be 11 and you haven't done your priority work. Then by the time you get to lunch, you're mentally fatigued with having to deal with all the problems of what was going on with your emails and your social medias and your inboxes and your client problems. And then you never get that priority work done. And then you get frustrated and then you get angry and then you think, what the fuck, what's the point? And it just spirals out of control. All right, so this is where we're managing our time and our energy. I hope this is all making sense so far. So then what we have is we have a cut-off point, okay? Now, at this point, this is how I'm just kind of giving you a little glimpse of my day. between 3 and 4 is my personal development time. Now that could be a course, okay? A lot of the time in the morning here I listen to audios as well, or maybe I watch a TED talk, or maybe I watch back videos like this, whatever it's gonna be. It's some form of personal development. Now you think when you're at college and you're at school or you're at university, you're constantly learning. All I am doing is taking the structure of what you had at college and bringing it in. So this is a lesson. Look at this as a lesson. This is where you're hungry for knowledge, hungry to progress, improve your time management, improve coding, improve your lead gen, improve your advertising, Facebook. You know, spend it doing a live with your clients, whatever it's going to be. So, you know, that's doing a live with the clients is still personal development because it's improving your delivery. It's improving the way that you talk. It's improving your knowledge. It's improving the way that your service for your client. And then at 4 o'clock, boom, for me, it's again, the family. Okay, so that's when I aim to finish here, but my days are all completely different. This is just purely an example. So what we end up doing is creating a timetable of the week, all right? And you can do that, like if you look at this journal here. So I know some of you have got this planner here. So let me give you an example here of the diary. So this is the brain dump of one of the diaries. So you can kind of see where guys can brain dump into there. And then it kind of goes into this timetable here. All right, so what you end up doing is having little sections of your day, okay? And then what ends up happening is that on a Sunday night, we're gonna come on to the micromanage in a minute. When it comes onto the Sunday night, you could open that diary and I could say, hey Jane, tell me where you're gonna be at Tuesday at 1 o'clock. You could come in and look at your timetable and tell me exactly what you're planning to do. I could ask you what you're doing on Thursday morning at 8 o'clock. I could ask you what you're doing at Friday at 5 o'clock. It's all there. And it's attention to detail. Now, there are things that could go wrong. There are curveballs. We don't live in a perfect world. But better to have a plan of action, to have a map, to have a timetable that takes you to a particular path, achieving specific goals, rather than just cuffing it. And then when a problem comes in, you're much more organized to deal with that problem. You're able to manage the situation a lot better, rather than going, it's all getting too fucking much, my head's about to explode, I can't deal with this anymore. All right, so this gives you control, this gives you consistency, this gives you clarity, and it reduces the amount of anxiety that you feel about what you've got to do. Now, like most entrepreneurs, they want to take over the world overnight. I've got to put my course on sale, I've got to be the next big thing, I've got to earn all this money, yada, yada, yada. This just gives you clarity that you're moving in the right direction. So whenever you feel unsure or uncertain or vulnerable, or don't have that warm, fuzzy feeling that you're in control, you can look at your diary and it's 1 week where you look at and you're like, this is what I've got to achieve this week to achieve the 12-week goal, all right? That's where we reverse engineer the process. So we plan every quarter, and at the end of the quarter, you have 4 goals, right, in each pillar. And to achieve that 12-week goal in the 4 pillars, we must hit our 12 weekly targets. And we can manage that with our timetable here. So everything that's in that timetable should be in line with the goals that you set yourself at the end of the 12 weeks. If you say to me, I want to lose 4 stone in 12 weeks, and in there, and each week you're saying I'm going to run, okay, I'm focused on trying to improve my 10K, it doesn't reflect the end of the quarter focus. If you said on there, all right, I'm going to do 3 hits, I'm going to track my calories, I'm trying to lose this much a month, this much a week to achieve this much a month to achieve this much a quarter, it's relative, it's in line with what you're trying to achieve, okay? So if the end result is weight loss, everything that's happening in your timetable should be about weight loss, not about trying to achieve certain running milestones, okay? If you're saying to me that you want to achieve a certain amount of income, but yet you're starting a brand new project, okay, it conflicts. So we have to make sure that everything's in line. So if you're trying to perfect a 5-day funnel over 90 days, and that's what your goal is, and you're saying to me, I'm going to start this brand new product, why would you start that brand new product when we haven't cemented the process, the funnel of the 5-day, and that's what we said we were going to do. All right, so this gives you clarity so that when you do it, it really makes sense to you. It's a bird's eye vision of the week, of ensuring that end of week goals meet the end of 12-week goals. Okay, and how we micromanage it, which is the final part, is that every single night and morning, you're going to spend maybe 2-3 minutes opening your diary, okay, looking at it. What are your top 3 things that you need to do today? Where does the timetable take you? Are there any curveballs that you can envision? Are there any distractions that you think are going to come your way? Do you need to change anything? Do you need to tell someone? That starts before you go to bed. Because when you have clarity before you go to bed of what you're doing, things make sense to you. You don't go to bed thinking, oh God, what have I got tomorrow? What am I trying to achieve? I've got no idea what I'm doing. So when you walk into the office, you go, now what? Okay, when you go into the office and you got this, you go, bang, open, straight into work. You don't waste 10-15 minutes fucking around thinking what you've got to do. Okay, you just in, open, okay, that's the first thing I've got to do. Let's go, bang. And you can do some preparation work if you need to in the morning in terms of being super prepared and productive about the things that you need to do. And that's how you start cutting, okay, the amount of time it takes you to do tasks. That's how you can do twice as much by being well planned, by having consistency, control of your time and your energy, and then the clarity of what you are doing, with the aim of trying to achieve your 12-week goals by achieving your weekly goals. I hope that makes sense. I'm probably tongue-tied on quite a lot of it because it's so hot in here and I'm so dehydrated. Are there any questions on that, guys? Like, if anyone wants to come on the camera, you can. Just request to and ask a question if you want to. While you decide if there's any questions on that, let's summarize. Brain dump. Brain dump is done on the Friday before you finish for the weekend. You display all of your thoughts on the 4 pillars: health, relationships, personal development, and business. Get it all out there. Then we prioritize that brain dump. We extract all of the priorities for that week to achieve our weekly targets. Okay, once we have all of them on paper, we transfer all of that onto a timetable. And we create a timetable, a map of actions for the week. That gives us consistency of action, clarity of time and energy, where it's going, and control of the actions that need to be finished, your time and your energy. Okay, so the 3 C's. The timetable gives you those 3 C's: consistency, control, and clarity. I always end up saying clarity and control the wrong way around. We micromanage that timetable by doing morning checks and evening checks. Simply opening your diary. You don't have to go into it like too deeply. You just look at it and go, okay, what are my top 3 things to do today? Great, I need to make sure I've got my diary. I need to make sure I've got my laptop. I need to make sure I've got my tripod for filming. Great, that's there, that's there, that's there. Good. Wake up in the morning as part of your morning routine. Just quick clarity. Makes you feel pretty focused and good for the day. Then you are able to focus on what you need to do. Come in here, open the diary, get straight to work and not waste a second of your day. Ready for the kill zone. Boom, 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 boom. Hope that makes sense. I've got no questions coming up. Boom, boom, boom. So I assume everyone's kind of got it. If there are any questions, please do put it on there. I'll check out throughout the week. I'm going to do a Zoom call probably sometime towards the end of the month at the start of September. So I will let you know about that. I'll ask Phil to email it out for you as well so we can get as many people on there. We'll do a good session on there, answering questions, helping you get a little bit more focused on your business. I think the last one was very productive for the guys that are on there. I'm probably a little bit too straight-laced, so I do apologise. I hope you have a great week. Hope you get your timetabling done. Don't wait till next week to do this. If you haven't done this, do it right now. Do your brain dump, get the priorities done. That's going to take you 15 minutes, 20 minutes tops, and then create your timetable for the week. Okay, it should take you maybe like 20 minutes. Okay, and then micromanage it tonight and tomorrow. And if you want to, and you're brave enough, take a picture and stick it in the comments. All right, guys, take care.